How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks, and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid. It ended up testing $30.12 on the day, and then it ended up being rejected. Like I've been talking about in all of my previous videos, you want to watch these key levels and know what the market conditions are like. And since we saw a lot of weakness inside of the market, that's why it was unable to hold its gains. I remember I got a question inside of the Discord, Dre, where do you see Lucid going? I'm saying, hey, there's a good chance it's going to go back to $27.50, like I talk about on this channel. And I just took a look at it in the after hours, and I think it's around $27.60. So I'm going to make sure you guys are prepared going in tomorrow. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $28.11, being down 3.07%. On the low, it tested $27.92, and then on the high, testing $30.12. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 24.567 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 23.86 million shares. So we did have above average volume on the day, but you could tell we dealt with a good amount of selling pressure. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 40.54. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 100-day, the 50-day, the 21-day EMA, and we are below the 200-day. So we already confirmed that Lucid is in a bear market since it is trading under the 200-day. But as you can see, it ended up making a strong pop to $30.12 before being hit with resistance and selling pressure, sending it where we ended up having a low of $27.92. We saw that there was a big time sell-off inside of the market, and the fact that Lucid was able to hold up 28, I must say that is fairly impressive. If we continue to have weakness going into tomorrow, then the next area I want to see support hold up, which we've spoken about on this channel, is at $27.50. If this level does ever end up breaking, then that's where we could start seeing the stock going back into the mid-25s. If we end up seeing some strength, then most definitely I would like to see a retest getting closer to the 21-day EMA around $30.41, especially since we tested $30.12 on the day. And if that momentum can pick up, then you know the level that we're looking out for. Yes, right around 32.50. Getting above 32.50, it could really start getting some momentum going into earnings. So continue to keep a very close eye on it, and let's see how it performs on Friday. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. So as we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So for the most recent filings we covered February the 16th, but the newest position was from Dutch Bank, which went in with 396,870 shares. So now when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 53.10%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 3.46 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 100,000, updated 28 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 7.69%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 15th, it was at 53.16, and then for the close of the 16th being at 53.10. So it is is remaining consistent, but one thing that remains the same, Lucid does have short squeeze potential. So this is why when you have more volume and buying pressure coming into the stock, we could see those moves to those key levels that we look for. So now let's go into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see here on the inflow is at 116, and then on the outflow it's at 123. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 40.54, and then on the small it was 75.81. When we take a look at the outflow side, on the large it was 2.47, on the medium it was 56.07, and then on the small it was 64.47. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, February the 17th, it being that negative outflow of 2.47 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 1.50%. So this is still not too bad for a stock like Lucid. Just remember, yesterday it was just under 1%. And since we've been seeing a lot more volatility in the markets, we did have a strong sell-off towards the end of the day. That's why we saw an increase. And this tells us there are many traders who are getting involved, playing it on the long and as well as on the short side. And that is why I give you guys these tips and strategies that you can use to take advantage of opportunities. So now let's go to the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, in regards to the price action, when we ended up seeing that high of it reaching $30 and considering all of the volatility we had inside of the market, a sell-off was bound to happen. As far as where it could possibly go, like I was saying in my other videos, look for it to test around 27.50, and we're talking about regular trading hours here. And if it breaks through 27.50, then we could see if it can hold up around 26.80. And if it's not holding up there, expect it to go all the way down to the $25 area. We've been talking about this for quite some time, so you should be prepared already. As far as for the bullish case scenario, I'd want to see us make another test going to $30 right before earnings, which we know is on February the 28th. But keep in mind, if it can't get above 32.50, then it's still going to be looking weak. It does put it above the 200-day because we know it is right around the mid $29 level. So it closing below that, again, I just see more weakness and see a bear market continuing for Lucid. But of course, things can change inside of the market. But like I said, keep an eye on Tesla. Tesla sold off quite a bit as well. We've seen this for the EV sector, the tech sector, and just the market as a whole. That's why you got to make sure you understand all of these variables before you jump into these plays. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, of course, institutions continue to load up on shares. And as far as for the short interest, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. So I know many of you are really excited to hear about that. That's why you like jumping into these plays that are volatile. But I just say make sure you know your entry and as well as your exit. Don't let your emotions guide your trading. This is essential. And for all of my long-term investors out there, we have a lot of volatility until we go into the next Fed meeting and we find out how much the interest rates are going to be hiked. So I wouldn't be jumping into any positions whatsoever. And as we get closer to earnings, maybe you might want to decide for yourself, if it does pull back quite a bit, it might be a good time to take a starter or add to your position. I, for myself, I am not adding whatsoever. Like I was saying, I think it's more attractive if I can get this stock below $20. And that's why I'll say, hey, depending on what it's looking like, as long as I'm not in the middle of a falling knife, then I will add. But I'm going to continue to stay patient. You guys are updated on that. And let's see how it performs going into Friday, and we'll talk real soon.